Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome President, Windows and Windows Live Division, Microsoft, Steven Sinofsky.
Well, good morning, everybody. We are pretty excited to be here today. Wait, this is Microsoft. We are super excited to be here today. I would like to welcome everybody to Windows 8. So today we're going to talk about Windows 8, and it's a launch. What we're launching today is we're launching a new opportunity for developers, a new opportunity for you to express yourself and to get the most out of PCs, no matter what size or shape. And so we're going to talk about a lot of new things today about Windows 8. And we really couldn't be more excited to share that with you, to share it with everybody who's listening in on the webcast, and even some of the folks on the Windows team all around Microsoft. So let's just go ahead and get started. I want to get started by talking a little bit about Windows 7. It was 3 years ago at this conference that we unveiled Windows 7 with our first developer preview of that product. And we've come a long way since then. And we're very excited to share that we are approaching over 450 million copies of Windows 7 sold. But wait, it actually gets better, because today, actually sort of like Friday at like noon, I can share with you that Windows 7 consumer usage is finally greater than Windows XP usage. You know, when we talk about improving our products along the way and responding to the needs of the customers in the marketplace, and one of the things that's very exciting about how we've managed to improve Windows 7 over that time is, you know, we've delivered over 1,500 product changes to Windows 7 since we released it to manufacturing. And so those are not security updates. Those are just things that added small things, that fixed features that you said weren't quite right, and also addressed some of the challenges in the product. But over 1,500 product changes since we RTM'd. Also, since we RTM'd Windows 7, we released Internet Explorer 9. And so we're excited to have reached a point where Internet Explorer 9 is the fastest growing Windows 7 web browser. And it really brought a whole new dimension to browsing and the whole idea of hardware acceleration, and that the device you use and the hardware that it has and the operating system you run on do matter to web browsing. And so all those fish swimming around really fast make a huge difference in everyday browsing. And we also are pleased to share that we have over 542 million people using our Windows Live services. So whether it's Hotmail or Messenger, SkyDrive, or signing on with Live ID, 500 million people every single month use Windows Live. And so with Internet Explorer 9 and Windows Live, we're talking about some foundational elements of what will become Windows 8. And so we want to start by talking about Windows 8 by talking a little bit about this changing world of computing. Things are a lot different than they were 3 years ago with computing. And they're a lot different than they were in, say, 1995, the last time Windows underwent a pretty significant and bold overhaul. So, you know, first, form factors and user interaction models create a whole new set of scenarios and opportunities for you. I mean, it's incredible to think about the evolution of desktops to laptops to convertibles to now small slate computers, or as we call them, Windows tablets. These form factors really have changed the way that the types of software that you can write and the solutions that you can deliver to customers. It's just incredibly exciting that what we can do. You know, touch is unbelievable. So, you know, we talk a lot about touch. We did touch in Windows 7. We probably thought that there were other things that we could do, and so we've really pushed a lot on the ways that we can deliver touch to you. You know, and I think touch is going to become a huge part of interaction. And what we're going to see is something that I don't think a lot of people are expecting, which is as soon as you've used touch on a PC, you want touch on all your PCs. Those people who say touch is only for small devices or it's only for lightweight things, I promise you, the minute you use a touch device with Windows 8, by the time you go back to your laptop, your desktop, you're going to be hitting that screen. And I promise you'll have fingerprints all over your monitor if it doesn't support touch. You know, mobility is a whole new dimension to computing these days. It used to be that it was enough to be able to just carry your laptop around, put it down, plug it in, and use it. But now you want devices that you can use while you're carrying them around, or just seated kind of uncomfortably or recline. And so a whole new way of using computing has really arisen, and we want Windows to respond to that. You know, you guys want much richer connectivity and sharing between applications. The idea that applications are silos and don't talk to each other or talk to each other through very narrow interfaces, that's just not a rich enough interaction model for customers. They want much more they don't want their apps to stand alone, they want a web of applications. And we also know that you want a stronger connection to your customers, that you want to be able to reach all the customers that are Windows. And with Windows 8, you'll be able to reach everybody that has a Windows PC with our product and sell them, offer them, provide them the software that you write, that you learn about here today. And we also learned that the world is different because services are an intrinsic part of the software that everybody uses. You just don't write an app anymore if it doesn't connect to some web backend, doesn't share information or consume information from a service. And so it's very important that we recognize this as we go and evolve Windows 8. So what is Windows 8? Well, it's going to be hard to sum it up now. We're at a developer preview stage, but I want everybody to think about two important elements of Windows 8. First, everything that was great about Windows 7, well, we took that and we made it even better in Windows 8. So if you've got a Windows 7 PC, everything that runs on that Windows 7 PC is going to run on that Windows 8 PC. And so we've got a huge base of support and an amazing body of success upon which to build, and Windows 8 builds on all of that. And that's one of the things that we mean by a no-compromise solution. You get to build on all of that success of Windows 7 as you move forward with Windows 8. And that was a very bold thing that we chose to do. We didn't abandon the success of Windows 8 and all of that work, those professional applications, those entertainment applications, all of that work, an integral part of Windows 8. And then we did something that we took a step back and we said, what's the boldest thing we could say? And what we said is, we're going to reimagine Windows. From the chipset to the experience, Windows 8 reimagines what Windows can be. And we mean so many things by that, and you're going to hear that word a lot. What we really want to talk about today is how from the chipset, and we mean the work that we've done on Windows for ARM, all the way up through a brand new user experience that's touch first, but equally at home with a mouse and a keyboard. We have a new range of capabilities, scenarios, form factors, all enabled by this bold reimagination of Windows 8. And you know what we mean, like let's look at the world of working on ARM. You know, the role of an operating system is to help you, the software developers, do two things. First, to abstract out the hardware and peripherals that are connected to your software, so that you can write software and express your creativity and work on a broad range of hardware. But then, when you want to get access to that hardware, to the unique capabilities that the world of hardware bring, Windows' job is to let that all surface and to let that shine through so that you can build unique solutions for unique hardware. So Windows 8 takes that bold step and reimagines the kinds of hardware that Windows can work on, but at the same time allows you to take advantage of all of that unique hardware. And so we're going to talk a lot about all the role of hardware and user experience, but I do want everybody to know that the demos that we're showing you today are equally at home on ARM and on x86. And so we're very excited in the progress that we've made, and we have a whole row of machines that we're going to show you as we progress throughout the day. Now, what are we going to do to show off reimagining Windows? Well, we think that the best way to do that is to let the product shine. Now, we are at the developer preview stage, but that means the product has a lot of features to show. So we're going to do 4 big demonstrations for you today. First, we're going to show off the Windows 8 experience and how we reimagined the way that you could interact with a PC from the very basics of starting programs, switching programs, and running applications. And then we're going to show you how to build these incredibly cool, what we call Metro-style applications. They're full screen, they're immersive, they're touch-centric. And we're going to show you how to build those from the ground up using world-class development tools. And then we're going to show you the hardware platform that all of this runs on. And we're going to show you the incredible range of form factors and the incredible range of hardware that you can run on, or hardware peripherals and devices you can run on. And then we're going to show you how that all connects up to cloud-based services with Windows Live. and how Windows Live can become an integral part of your Windows 8 computing experience. I'm going to bring this all to you in a series of demonstrations, but that's going to only scratch the surface of Windows 8. It's a bold product. We have over 100 sessions here today, and this afternoon we're going to do these big picture sessions where each one of these topics gets a really deep dive from the architects of that area, and we're just going to spend a lot of time really introducing you to a reimagined Windows. So I want to start off with the Windows 8 experience, but before I do that, I know something is on everybody's mind. They're like, you guys, you're going to add a bunch of code, and then Windows is going to get bigger, and it's going to get slower, and you're going to layer all this on top, and you're going to lose sight of fundamentals. And so, you know what? We didn't. I promise you, we did not lose sight of fundamentals. Some of you might remember a machine that I held up 3 years ago. It's one of these netbooks. Does everybody remember those? This is this machine I held up quite a while ago, and it's a Lenovo that was one of the first generation netbooks. And it has 1 gigabyte of memory, an Atom-based processor, and it was very cool. This machine has been around the world. I used it as my primary machine for about 2 years. And so it's actually running Windows 8, and it's running Windows 8 in a pretty cool way. And so let me show you how well it's running Windows 8. This is that very same machine running Windows 7 SP1. This is Task Manager. Windows 7 SP1, and you see it's using about 404 megabytes of the 1 gigabyte of memory. Windows 7 SP1 also has about 32 processes running. This is Windows 8 today. It uses only 281 megabytes of memory. And it dropped 3 processes in the process of doing that. What does that really tell you? Well, when we showed up and showed you the Windows 7 preview release, I said that about half the memory was free. Turns out it was about 540 megs of memory were used, and there were about 34 processes. By the time we got to Windows 7 SP1, those 1,500 changes, path to RTM, yielded about 404 megabytes of memory consumed out of 1 gigabyte, and 32 processes. So with Windows 8 today, 281 meg consumed, leaving almost 3/4 of 1 gigabyte of memory free for you to use with your applications and your software. But don't each one of you use it all. And then 29 processes. And so that's quite an accomplishment. And we are very, very focused on the fundamentals of Windows 8. You will hear lots about that as this week progresses, and there are a lot of sessions about that. But it's super important to understand that everything we're showing you today is built into Windows. It is Windows. We're not building layers on layers. We've built everything natively into Windows. And so how does that work? Well, I think the best person to show off the user experience is the person responsible for all the specifications and all the features in Windows 8, and that's Julie Larson-Green, the Corporate Vice President of Windows Program Management. So let's invite Julie up.
Okay, let's get started. Here I am on my new Windows device with Windows 8 running on it, and I have my lock screen across the front. So when I resume from sleep, I go right to my lock screen where it shows me all the at-a-glance information that I might want to know about, things that have been happening while I was away. It says that I'm supposed to be doing a demo, good thing. I had all my email messages, it's a light day, and all the things that battery, internet connection, other things I might want to see. When I'm ready to start using Windows, I just swipe up with my finger, and I go to my new login screen. This is called Picture Password. And very easily, I'm going to press on my daughter's nose, press on the lemonade, and draw a line. And very quickly, on my mobile device, I logged in. And now you all know my password, but luckily it's easy to change. Before I get going any further, I want to show you a couple things that'll help you follow me in the demo. We turned on touch points in the demo, so when I press on the screen, you're going to see my finger in a little circle there, and that's just turned on so you can follow me without an over-the-camera shoulder. So let's take a look at the start screen. The start screen is Windows. This is the place you come to when you start Windows, and it's the place you go to get to all the applications that you guys are going to build that people are going to love. All the applications that I have on here today are just samples that we've written to showcase the platform, not announcing any new utilities or any new features in Windows. They're simply written to show off what the platform is capable of doing. So I'm going to go through here, and I'm just going to swipe to the right and take a look at all the programs. I'm swiping to the left, and let's look at what these tiles are all about. Each one of these tiles represents an application. I have a tile for my Windows Live Mail up here telling me that Matt Berg has just sent me a message. I have my calendar. I have my news reader on my current feed. I have paused music. As I scroll down, you see the other applications. Some of them probably look familiar to you. Task Manager. Too much practicing. Task Manager, Notepad, the pinned people and people that I want to interact with. I have a bunch of games. And everything that is on here is personal to me, and it's only the things that I want on my screen. And it's very easy for me to go ahead and customize and rearrange and make it look exactly like I want.
So this start screen, it's not just a launcher for programs. The start screen represents a unification and integration of program launching, switching between running programs, and also notifications and gadgets are all integrated into one start screen. So you don't have to look all over the place. You guys don't have to write code all over the place to integrate with Windows. One place makes it really super convenient, and it's highly customizable.
Right, and so here I am with my, I'm not in Redmond today, so I'm gonna go ahead and take this off the screen. I'm gonna drag out. It doesn't go into a mode or anything. I can just automatically drag around to where I want it to go. I can even use 2 hands to arrange it. I dropped it. I'll go back in. I can easily just drag around and rearrange. Go ahead and select it to the end and drop it here. Pick this one up. But you saw how I'm kind of scrolling in a long list. If I want to get faster access to all the places in my program list, instead of scrolling along many, many pages, I'm going to go ahead and pinch with my finger. So watch closely. I'm going to go like this, and it's going to zoom me out to see the entire set of the things that I have on my system. So I can very easily get to new places, get to the games group. I can rearrange these as well. So I just drag it out, just like I did with the other ones. I can position things in a new place, which makes it super easy for me to go and rearrange and get access to the things I really care about. So I have one group in here. I can name these groups and order these groups. This one's a games group. I just swipe down and selects the group, and I can name the group. Using the on-screen keyboard, I'll go in here and click Games. Save that. And now I have games. And then to go back, you just do the same gesture on the way out as I just pinch and go out. So it makes it very easy for me to customize and rearrange and to get exactly what I want on the screen, exactly the way I want it. I can also customize the look of my start screen and my user tile. And that's pretty easy to do too. So I'm going to click here, press here, go to my new user tile, and we have a built-in webcam with Windows, and this computer has both a front-facing and back-facing. And unfortunately, to get a new picture, I have seen what I look like on these webcams, not doing that. So I brought Mort, and he's going to be my picture for today. Whoa, I need to get out of there. I click there. That was good. I'm going to go ahead and decide that that's what I want, select it, and change my user tile. And now if I go to the lock screen, all the pictures and things I have on my system, I just click and change my lock screen. So I showed you a little bit about how to personalize Windows.
All with the touch-centric control panel as well.
And personalize Windows, and now let's launch some of those Metro-style applications that you guys are going to be building. Take more from me. So I'm going to go down the end here and launch a game. This game is actually really fun to play. It's a touch-first, full-screen, immersive application. And as I drag across, I'm going to start to play it. And it does 3-letter words, so that makes it easy. And I don't mess up that one. Yeah. I see another one. And I can continue launching by going back to the start screen. I'm swiping my thumb from the right-hand side of the screen and bringing up start. I'm going to launch my newsreader application, which is another Metro-style application. Now these applications, their user interface for these applications you get by swiping up from the bottom. And here I can add the new feeds, I can refresh, remove, or whatever capabilities your app wants to have. They come from what we call the app bar. When I click into this headline here, it's going to give me a newspaper-like layout for me to be able to read my blog. And really fast and fluidly, I can swipe through and read my articles. We'll go back to start, again, swiping from the right, and launch a popular social networking app using open APIs. We created a sample application here. I'm going to go into my news group and check out my news feeds. And then we'll launch a little video. And I know this video has soundtrack, so again, I'm going to swipe from the right-hand side of the screen and bring up the settings. In context of playing the video, I have access to all my system settings that I might want to do while I'm working with apps. Here I have the sound muted. And above this, I also have the settings for the application itself. So the applications share the settings space with the system settings to make it easier for people to not have to go out of context of what they're trying to get done just to change the volume or access something about your settings of your app. So here we are back in my video, and to switch between these applications, I just go ahead and swipe out from the left-hand side of the screen. It was fast and fluid to get back to where I was. If I want to view two things on the screen, I can dock one to the right and then, or to the left, and then continue swiping. It is pre-release software. I'll dock it this way. Or not. There we go. And so I can easily do two things at one time. So I can add to my news feed while I'm watching my movie, play my game while I'm watching my movie, or doing my homework, or...
Of course, Windows is multitasking from the kernel on up, and so all we're showing here is the fact that two applications can always be running in Windows. And this ability to dock them is a really cool opportunity for you to sort of create like a heads-up view of your application.
And so every application has both that docking view and the side view. Now I'm going to launch an application that we are shipping with Windows 8. It's Internet Explorer for Metro style, and it has here loaded a web page for me. And you can see how fast and fluid the browser is, and how easy it is for me to pan and zoom around in this application. This is all built on top of the Internet Explorer that you see today, Internet Explorer 9, all hardware accelerated, and makes it super fast and easy for me to get around in my web pages.
It's also completely Chromeless, if you notice, and I don't think anything is better than an entirely Chrome-free browsing experience.
I couldn't agree more.
Oh, I get it. I know what I just said.
He's so funny. So swiping up from the bottom, I bring up the app bar again, the user interface elements for Internet Explorer, and I can do all the things you'd expect to be able to do in the browser. I can turn on in private and do in private browsing. I can create new tabs, go to my pinned apps, launch a pinned website.
Or do that later.
Or not. I can also just easily type into the browser. I'm back in there. Go back to here. And type in my URL using the on-screen keyboard. Let's see. I'm going to go to Whole Foods. Or not. Or not. Let's skip over to this other machine. Wow, that was loud. Okay. We're in Internet Explorer. I'm swiping, I'm zooming. I bring up the UI, and we're going to add a pinned. There we go. And I'm going to go back and type in my URL, go to this Whole Foods page, and I can pan and zoom around and do all the things that you're used to doing in the browser. So let's go ahead and do a couple new things. I'm going to go ahead and select this text here by just selecting it and dragging. And it's always something that you want to do when you're on a web page. You often want to send a snippet of some content around to someone or send a link or a URL. You end up having to leave your application, launch another application, find the person you want to send it to, and copy and paste in the content or copy in the links. With Windows 8, it's possible for applications to interact with each other much more directly and help the customer or the user stay in the context of the application that they're doing to complete their task. And we think this will create a whole new set of scenarios for you to create with your application. So I'm going to use something out the right-hand side. We call these things out here on the right charms. And the charms are the way that the applications can power the system and add new capabilities to Windows. So I'm going to click the share charm. And when I do that, I see all the applications that I support the share contract, which you'll learn a lot more about in Antoine's presentation in a little bit. It also has a kind of an MRU list of the people that I've frequently shared with in the past. I'm going to launch an application called FriendSend, which is a sample application that we wrote, and you see that the content that I copied from Internet Explorer shows up inside this application. This application can show the kinds of capabilities it has to do with the content coming from Internet Explorer.
You can kind of think of sharing as a very semantically rich clipboard almost, that when all of your applications can share with each other, even with applications that they didn't know about when you wrote your application. So you don't have to try to figure out how to get connected to everywhere else. We'll help you do that through the sharing, what we call contracts.
And as I'm typing here, you're seeing autocomplete and spell checking. That's also something that's system-wide.
Slow down. Just spell checking throughout the whole system. I was going to be pissed if they didn't applaud for that one.
I don't think you cook, so I'm going to choose somebody else here. Let's see, maybe my friend Alice, and I'll share that. And so now I can get right back to browsing without having to come back to and find where I left off. Bring out the charms again, and go back and show you a couple other ways that applications can power the system using search. Go into search, and here you see search pretty much like you would expect in Windows 7. I can search my applications, my settings, my files. And this is what you'd expect to see, and pretty much what everyone does today, which is search your local hard drive or search the entire universe over the internet. My Bing application here will go ahead and search the entire internet for me. But with Windows 8, applications can make their content available for people to search directly. So while in context of looking for something, it's very easy for an end user to go through and find and filter the content based on the applications that you've created. So here I have my music app. I'm going to search for Viper Creek. I think you guys are going to see Viper Creek on Wednesday. I can just go ahead and launch my music from here. Start playing the music, I think. Sound.
It's probably muted.
And if I still want to see what's going on with Viper Creek in some other context now, I go back to search, and I can search for tweets or any other application that has no knowledge about Viper Creek and quickly search through and see what's happening there. So the applications are really powering the system with new capabilities. And as you get more and more applications, the system gets richer and richer. So here I am in my social networking app. I'll show you one more way that applications can add power and support and show their content for people to interact with on Windows 8. So here's going to do a little tweet about the concert that I just went to when I went and saw Viper Creek Club. So it was a cool concert. Look at that autocomplete there, huh? I typed concert on this machine before. And I also want to add a picture. So I pressed the little picture button, and it took me right to my hard drive and my pictures folder, and all the pictures that I have on my hard disk are right here. And I see that I have one. But often I have pictures in other places that I have access to. I have access to them on friends' social networking sites, on my own social networking sites, and those social networking sites can add the capability to share content from them right into the file picker. So I'm going to choose one that we wrote called Photo Feeder that has some pictures from my friend Sarah, and I go ahead and select her picture, And so I can have pictures come from a variety of things. I don't have to copy them to the hard drive to be able to access and use them. They can stay stored in the cloud inside your application and then be accessed and used without having to copy them to the hard drive. So I'm going to go ahead and import these.
Feel free.
So I think this Amazing Lights one looks good, so I'm going to go ahead and click here. And I'm going to tweet that. And there you go. My tweet is live. I'm going to go back to start. And that was really a super quick overview of some of the new things about the bold new Metro style interface for Windows 8. I showed you how launching and switching applications and getting notifications is super fast and fluid. I showed you how applications can be side by side, how applications power the system with new capabilities and new functionality, how apps can talk to other apps, how apps can talk to the cloud, and this works across all your Windows devices.
Actually, here's another machine that Julie is logged into, and it's a pretty cool machine, too. How are we doing there?
Don't watch me.
I'm just trying to see.
Okay.
Oh, how are we doing there? Oh, there we go. So, you know, I can pan around. Look, it sticks to your finger, just like you would expect. I can scroll all the way over here. I can launch the Bing app that I can't see.
No, don't.
What? Is this it?
Just skip it.
Okay, and then, check this out. Well, I can't see. And then, if you look here, you can actually see that there's Mort, the picture that Julie took before, and it synced all the way over here. And there's, I could go and change user tile, and you could see the big picture of Mort that Julie just took, and it synced its settings over here. And we'll talk a lot about that soon. But, oh, and what kind of machine is this one?
This is an ARM-based machine.
So,
That's it.
well, thanks a lot, Julie. That's just a quick look at the user experience of Windows 8.